everyone, today we are going to be discussing who has the best vocals in Project Sekai. Now, although I am ranking the vocals, this has nothing to do with the voice actors themselves. Of course, they are playing a character and their vocals outside of the game can sound completely different from in the game, and I also do not hate anyone's vocals in this game. There are just some that I think are better than others. Last note, I will not be ranking the Vocaloids, of course, because they don't really count because it's all based on who's tuning them. With all of those aside, let's get into it. So in last place, sadly, is Miss Emu. I feel like this is a popular opinion. I have some unpopular opinions throughout this video, especially with Nigo and Nightcord. But I feel like this one is not an unpopular opinion. She just sounds too childish, and it kind of gets grating on the ears after a while, especially if you're listening to an alt cover that is just Emu. I find it's a bit too much, but it's perfect for the character, so I think her voice actor did an amazing job with it. And right beside her is Nene. Now Nene I have the same problem with. I find their voice just too high and it's just not my vibe. It is of course a beautiful voice, but I just think it's too high, and much like Emu, I just don't love it that much. I did put her right on top of Emu because although I think they sound pretty darn similar, Nene does have a bit more variety in her singing. Okay, here's where my hot takes really come in. Third to last is Kanade. And before you come at me, let me explain. I find her voice is too soft and she does not have a lot of power behind it. This is like really, emphasized in songs like Hated by Life and faster songs where she needs either to pick up the pace or to have more emotion behind it, and I just find that she doesn't have that. I feel like the softer voice is done better a lot by Shizuku or Honami. I don't know. I just don't like Kanade's voice despite loving her character. My favorite cover of hers is Reborn. I feel like her soft voice matches this song perfectly. Honami is where it started to get hard. Everyone starts to, have really strong vocals, and I struggle to place everyone. I put Honami here because overall I don't have a lot of opinion on her voice. I think she has a soft voice, but she does have a lot more power behind it compared to Kanade. I just feel like she would do better in a group that isn't rock. Like in a group maybe more like More Jump, I think she would do a lot better. Her best cover for me is From Y to Y because I feel like she goes really well with Ichika's deeper, more grunge voice, if that makes any sense. Minori has the best voice for her character. She has so much energy behind her voice, and despite her having that more high-pitched voice that I cannot be as much of a fan of, I feel like she does it really well. She has the energy and everything that sort of embodies being an idol. And I cannot choose a favorite cover song of hers because I feel like they all just are perfect for Minori. She has the perfect style music for her voice. Now, Kohane is my favorite character in the game, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would know that I absolutely adore Kohane with every fiber of my being. But one of the main parts of the story is just how strong her vocals are and how much better she is than the rest of the group without nearly as much practice, and I just find that compared to the rest of Vivid Bad Squad, her vocals just are not it. She sounds very, very, very similar to Minori and Saki. Those three I have ranked back to back to back because I think they all sound very similar. She has that sort of sickly sweet sound, but I don't find any strengths or really deep emotions in her voice, no matter what song she's singing. Although she does have some good covers. I think Forward and Imperial Girl are her best covers. I am so sorry, Kohane, you are my absolute favorite. I just don't think your vocals match what the storyline follows. I think maybe she would have ranked a bit higher if her entire storyline wasn't about, how good her vocals are, when in actuality, they're just pretty mid. Right beside her other two twins is Saki. Now, I put Saki a bit higher than the other two because I do think she has a bit better of a vocal range and she can get more of that, almost like a wave sound in her voice. I'm not a vocal expert. I did take vocal lessons for a few years when I was growing up, and I do absolutely adore music, even outside of Project Sekai, but I don't know how to explain it in, technical terms. She just has almost like a very flowy voice to her. Now, that's really random. Anyway, I would say her best cover is Do Not Go. Ichika is at the middle of this list, and she has the most mid voice I think I could ever imagine. That sounds like a bad thing, but honestly, it's okay. As the main vocalist for her group, but also kind of the main vocalist for the game as a whole, I think her sort of simple yet powerful voice matches. Like, she doesn't have too much variance as we see farther up the list, but she's also not too boring or grating on the ears. Overall, her character as a whole is just very mid, and I think this matches. She has a very good emotion, and I honestly think that her voice is not too high or too low, so it goes well with the lower range of Shiho and the higher range of Honami and Saki. I would say her best covers are Teo. Okay, here is another unpopular opinion. I often see people put Enna at the top of their lists, and I get it. I mean, she has good vocals. They all have good vocals. But honestly, I just don't think she's anything special. Outside of a couple covers, I don't find her voice stands out too much. Like, not that I'd get it confused with other characters, but just that it kind of falls behind when you look at the grand scheme of voices we have. I'd say her best cover is Venom, and this definitely showcases the amount of energy and almost anger that she can put behind her vocals, which I wish we saw more of because she is sort of a anger-based, motivated character. Skasa is a hard one because I find that he can be too childish and kind of fall down with Emu, and honestly in the covers where it's those two together, I don't love his vocals. But when he's on his own and in a couple covers, he has a very unique sound that I absolutely adore. I love that none of the male characters in this game have that like very monotone, boring voice that you'd expect from, I don't know, an anime protagonist. I just absolutely adore his voice in some songs, and I think he has the exact amount of energy that you'd expect his character to have. His voice actor does an amazing job, even on stage. His breath control is absurd for the amount of activity he has going on. Now, I haven't been playing any of the songs because I don't want to get copyrighted, but if you have the time, go listen to his cover of Fixer. Oh my goodness, it is so good. It displays exactly what I'm talking about. He has such good vocal range and honestly breath control in this song, it's perfect. Now, in my notes written down for this, I just have the description. Her voice is soft but not washed out, and I don't know if a voice can be washed out, but if you know what I mean, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Kanade has a very washed out sound. It's a very soft sound. It gets lost in the background music, whereas I find Shizuku has a sound that, although it is soft, she can keep up with the music and she can overpower the backing track, which is perfect because most of her songs she's performing on stage. And I just feel like her vocals don't get lost with the rest of the song. I absolutely love how soft she sounds, but she still has the power, and honestly, this is what I wish Kanade sounded like, and Honami. Her best cover is definitely Soju Rei. And right next to her is Airi. Now, I would put Airi higher if she didn't struggle with high notes. There's a couple songs, and I'm sure you can probably think of them, where anytime they make her go into a higher vocal range, she just kind of struggles and her voice wavers. But if it weren't for that, she would be so much higher because she has the perfect bubbly voice. It is more high-pitched like Emu Nene, Saki Konare. It's more high-pitched, but I feel like she does it better, and she does have that perfect tsundere vibe that everyone describes her as, and you can hear it in her voice. I think it just encapsulates her character perfectly, and it goes so well with MMJ's sort of sound that their band has. And her covers with Shizuku are perfect. I feel like their voices meld together perfectly. Romeo and Cinderella is my favorite cover of hers. I feel like you can hear the sort of nasally sound that people talk about, but it's not overpowering. It has that perfect sort of gruff sound to it, if that makes any sense. And now the best idol in terms of vocal sound is definitely Haruka. She has a lot of power behind her voice, although she also is just very grown-up and elegant. Like, you get the idol vibe. If you think about K-pop, and I guess Japanese idols, I don't follow them as much as K-pop, they have that sort of very sweet sound, but they also sound very elegant, and I feel like Haruka sort of encapsulates that perfectly. Her best cover is also Sojure. I feel like that song is just perfect for the entire team's vocals. It encapsulates, you know, the softer side of her while also sounding very mature and very idol-like. I can definitely see why in the story she is a very famous idol. I think she has the perfect idol voice. Now, Aside from my lovely wife Kohane, this is another way you can tell that I'm not doing this based on the character themselves. Shiho is not my favorite character, but her voice is one of my favorites. It is so unique, and it fits their sort of grungy, rock style perfectly, I think. She has a lot of power behind it, she has good vocal control, I think she just is perfect. And it checks out for her character too, because she is, I guess one could say the most determined of their band and the most set on being a musician. I just think it's perfect. Her best cover is Lost Ones Weeping. Now, I don't like Leonide's cover of Lost Ones Weeping, as a whole group. I feel like Honami's high notes in that are just, I just hate it. But Shiho's cover by herself is so good. It might, dare I say, be better than the original. Okay, so you either love or hate Mifuyu's voice, and I am on the team where I love it. I really like how in some songs, especially songs like Bug, you can see that she has her more good girl persona that she puts on for her mother before it devolves into her very, unstable mental state, and it has a very different sound. I love that. She has a lot of emotion, and she has a good vocal range. She can do low notes and she can do high notes perfectly without it sounding strained on either end. I feel like she's very expressive as well. You can really get the emotion that she's trying to put behind the songs a lot more than Kanade. Not to hate on Kanade throughout this song, but you can tell, especially in Hated by Life, you can hear just the emotion in her voice compared to Kanade. Once again, I'm so sorry Kanade, I love you. Her best covers are Phony, Bug, and Usewa. I think the more aggressive, more angry songs go perfectly with her voice and her storyline. In my opinion, Rui has the most unique voice in the game. It's that sort of sound where you could hear it anywhere and you'd know that it's him. And I think this is a very interesting and very good sort of tactic if you're a singer or any kind of idol, is you want to have that sound that people know it's your voice, and I think Rui has that perfectly. It's really unique, he has a lot of range, he can do high notes, he can do lower notes, and he's just perfect for the kind of songs that Wonderland X Showtime does. I feel like his voice fits that perfectly. It also fits his character absolutely perfectly. Once again, not to hate on Kohane, but I feel like if we were going to go with her character, yes, it could sound sweet, but maybe it could have more of a range like Airi. I think that would fit her character better. I feel like Rui, though, fits his character absolutely perfectly. Now, his best covers are King and As You Like It. I feel like people don't talk about As You Like It as much as we should. The song is good, but Rui's cover is so good. He sounds so perfect. It is the absolute perfect song for summer. And as we're going into the summer season, you should definitely listen to it. Oh my goodness, it is so good, so underrated. Now, it's no secret that Vivid Bad Squad is my favorite unit, and they have the best vocals of all the units by far. And this isn't a surprise. I feel like they are the most sort of focused on music. Behind Leonide, Leonide is also another group that is really focused on music. But I feel like they're the ones that put the most time and effort and, hours into perfecting their sound, especially their vocals, since they don't play any instruments. And Toya is a great example of this. I feel like he has almost kind of like Haruka. I think if you put them next, side by side or overlap their vocals, they both have that sort of very mature and elegant sound to them, which I think clashes really well with the rest of Vivid Bad Squad. I think it's perfect. He is also voiced by a singer, so obviously his vocals are going to be good. His voice actor is an absolutely amazing singer outside of the game, so that doesn't surprise me. Overall, I just love Toya, and I would have to say, his best covers are definitely Hollow and Blender. Those ones are slower songs, and they definitely, show his range better. Although I do like that he can do slower songs while also keeping up with the faster-paced songs from the other characters. Mizuki. Now, as the game has progressed, we have seen Mizuki sort of play around with their vocal range a lot more. We've seen Mizuki do a lot more lower notes and also a lot more higher notes, and I absolutely love that. I love that they're sort of getting into the idea that Mizuki is, experimenting with gender or might have a different gender presentation than the rest of their group, and I absolutely love that. I feel like that's really, present in the newer songs, but her best cover to me is still Villain. I feel like she just has so much range, so much depth and emotion, and you can hear it in her voice that she is a more playful character. Despite their sort of sadder songs or more emotional songs, you can still hear that she is a very playful character, and I absolutely love that about Mizuki. I have not met a single person or interacted with anyone that doesn't like Mizuki's voice, and I feel like that just goes to show absolutely how amazing of a voice actor she has. Okay, in second place is Mr. Akito. Now, once again, I feel like this isn't a surprise. I haven't met anyone that dislikes Akito's voice, but I just think he has one of the best voices in the game. I do wish we had more male characters in the game because the few that we have are some of the best vocals in the entire game. He has amazing vocal range, he has great breath control, and he also has this unique sound. It's very gruff, it's very rigid, and I think it goes really well with his partner Toya. I think they really bounce off each other really well in that way. He has a lot of best covers. When I was doing this, I just was reminded at how amazing he is on his own. You can definitely hear his voice in the group. It definitely stands out with not overpowering everyone else, and I think that is something that's really good about Vivid Bad Squad. They all sound different, but they don't overpower each other. But on his own, he's an absolute powerhouse as well. His best covers are definitely Yobonashi Device, never learned how to pronounce that, Echo, Shanti, Springstorm, and Egoist. I think he is so good in those, oh my goodness, and him paired with An, unstoppable. And in number one, who should be number one on everyone's list, is An. Now, An is the character I think in the game, after reading so many stories, the one that puts the most effort into her voice, the one that is the most devoted to music. I think her story is just so centered around her pressing herself to be the best that it just checks out that she has the best vocals. And I absolutely love her vocals. She has so much power behind her voice. It never wavers, you never hear her sort of hesitate or anything. Even when her voice actor performs live, it is still amazing. She has great breath control despite the very fast songs she has. They give her a lot of long notes and a lot of high notes in the songs as well, and she never stumbles on those. She has a really unique sound, and I absolutely love that. That's something I adore with the top characters in this list, is a very unique sound. I think that is perfect, and I think if you are a vocalist, working on your sound and differentiating yourself from others is something you really should do, and I love that about An. She does sometimes struggle with high notes, and I do see that, but she knows her vocal range, and I feel like the game also knows her vocal range, and they don't give her a lot of high notes, and that's where Kohane comes in. That's where they are the perfect duo, because if there is a high note, they'll just give it to Kohane, and that just also makes their duo so much better. Now, because she is my favorite vocalist, she has a lot of covers I love. Okay, Retaining Supplying His Lord, never get that title right, sorry. Brain Revolution Girl, oh my god, that long note, mind-blowing every time. Echo is also good, Children Record is good, Imperial Girl is amazing. Anytime she is paired with Akito, it is perfect. She is good with anyone that she's been paired with in the game, but I feel like she is the best with Akito. They both have a very unique sound and a very sort of hard, gruff sandpaper almost, if that makes any sense. I love describing things by sandpaper. I feel like they just go really well together, and I could talk about them all day, but I don't think anyone wants to hear me talk about that all day. And just for fun, while we're at the end of this video, my favorite of the Vocaloid vocalists is Rin. I think they do a really good job at tuning her on songs like Cyberpunk Dead Boy. I feel like she is really good at fitting into all of the group's songs. I think she's perfect for all of them. But yeah, it's all about tuning. But for the game, I think they tune her the best. And that is my opinions on vocals in Project Sekai. Now, I am a huge music fan. I haven't taken vocal lessons in years, and I do focus mainly on K-pop, so I feel like some of my opinions might be biased towards, more music-centered vocals rather than, idols and game things. So I might be putting too much pressure on some of the characters farther down the list, but please, this is no hate to any of the characters and absolutely no hate to the vocal actors. They are amazing in and out of the game. Every one of them is such a good singer, 10 times better than I would ever be. So do not take this as hate towards any of the characters or the actors. I think they all do an amazing job. This is just my opinion. This is just for fun. I love seeing other people's opinion on vocals, especially on the favorites. Ranking the least favorite is never fun. No one likes to be the least favorite, and so I hate doing those, but when you're doing a list, you can't just do your favorites, so, someone had to be my least favorite. And once again, you can tell I'm not biased because my beautiful, beloved Kohane is further down the list. But that is all for today. I would love to hear your opinions down below. I want to know who your favorite vocalists are and what your opinions are on my list. If you agree, if you disagree, please don't hate me though. This is all for fun. And yeah, I will see you around. It is almost summer, so hopefully I will have more time for posting. Bye!